Good morning, everybody. It is Wednesday the 8th, about 5:15 in the morning here in Hazlet, Texas. I'm at the rail yard, and I'm starting my day. I just wanted to talk a little bit about a video that I saw early this morning. It was about a guy who was talking about how it was that people in America seem to be lazy, that they don't care about doing their job. The reason why they don't care about doing their job is because the money they make isn't enough to sustain their life. He talked about how it was that people have to roommate. You got to get more people than one to live, to sustain life, right? And at the end of the video, his message was basically work harder, work and accept it, and be an entrepreneur. Start your own business. Do your own thing, because the system is set up to where in order to make ends meet, you have to be creative. And I thought about that, and I said to myself, where I don't think it's a bad thing to be creative and be an entrepreneur, right? And he also talked about how it is that you try to climb up the ladder, and very few people make it, right? So therefore you have to be an entrepreneur, right? And I'm like, I've heard this argument before, and that's what neoliberals tell you. Neoliberals will tell you that if you are not making ends meet, if you're not buying the house and buying a new car and going on vacation, it's entirely your fault, because you're not creative enough. You don't have the skills to compete with other workers in the workplace to create to market yourself and sell yourself in the free market, right? That's what they tell you, and that's what this neoliberal ideology is all about. It's about selling yourself to make ends meet. And I'm one of those people who at one point, I'm like, I don't disagree with the idea that you should do your best, okay? But I also don't ignore how it is that neoliberal ideology has set up a system to where there will, in fact, be inequality, that you have to compete. You got to understand, people, that as long as we're competing, capital can lower the wages. Right now, one of the ways in which businesses make a lot of money is to tell the Federal Reserve to raise the interest rates, because by raising the interest rates, they think it controls inflation, when in fact all it does is create unemployment. And businesses like unemployment, high unemployment. And the reason for this is because people are standing in line to get those good paying jobs, and they can afford, businesses can lower the wages. And that's what's been happening, right? That's what's called monetary policy. So it's the system really that is keeping us down and not allowing us the American dream. Whereas before, in the 1940s up to the late 70s, you had Keynesian economics, which said, no, the way to handle a slow economy and people not prospering is to create full employment. Because when people have money, they go out shopping. When they go shopping, they give money to the businesses. Now, businesses don't have no reason to lay off because they're too busy hiring people, keeping up with the demand, right? That's capitalism, right? So I don't buy it that we're lazy, because that's what his argument was, that we're lazy, that we just, because we don't care. And if we're lazy, or if we're just not all so into our job, it's because there's no future in our job. There's no reason to work hard, because as hard as we work, we have to work double to just barely make ends meet. And this is making decent decisions, like smart decisions. It costs so much to live right now, and the reason why it costs so much is for various reasons, but one of them might be that only 3 companies now control the housing market and can raise the prices on housing. You know, BlackRock and a couple other, I can't recall right now, right? Neoliberalism is our issue. The ideology that's been in place here in America for over 40 years, to the point that it has captured our state, and we can no longer call ourselves a government of, by, and for the people. Now, I said my channel was not about explaining to you the problems that we're having, but I had to say that first of all, because we have to come together and fight back. You know, and in that video he was talking about how does people feel hopeless, and I'm telling you right now, there's no reason to feel hopeless. There is a way to fight back. There is a strategy out there that I'm promoting that gives you outrageous amounts of power to overcome this neoliberal ideology, to get beyond the paradigm and start getting back to decency. You know, my channel is all about promoting this strategy and encouraging you as a working class person to show yourself for who you truly are. A person who either is a liberal, which, by the way, liberalism is, by definition, classical liberalism is an idea that says the individual and his property is more important, is emphasized. The individuality, the rights of the individual is emphasized. That is classical liberalism. It's not, you know, gay rights and, you know, all this other stuff. Liberalism is about individualism. Okay? I argue against liberalism. I argue that our attitude should be one that says, I am my brother's keeper. I am responsible for and care about my fellow human being. And I have the capacity to understand what is good for me and my society. We have given up fighting, and I'm arguing that don't give up. Fight back. And there is a way to fight back. All you got to do, and it's so freaking outrageously simple, if you just stop and logically think about it for a minute. Look, Alan Greenspan, when he was chairman of the Federal Reserve, basically said it this way. He says, we're going to destroy the unions. Powell put out a memo and told all the Chamber of Commerce's, we got to fight back. Ralph Nader has freaking made Nixon, a Republican, pass the EPA. Now, what is this world coming to? The freaking socialists are taking over. So we got to fight back, right? And Alan Greenspan came up with the idea of monetary policy. Well, he didn't come up with the idea, you know, that's a neoliberal ideology, using monetary policy instead of fiscal policy to regulate the economy. And he said, make the people, squeeze the working class in a way that makes them scared to start a union, that they're barely making ends meet. That's what Alan Greenspan said, and that's what they did, and that's what we're faced with right now. That's what we're dealing with. So it was on purpose. They do this on purpose because their ideology is that neoliberalism, you know, the rich get richer, the poor get poorer. What I'm saying is that there is a way to fight back. And okay, now I remember. Okay, so all right, so you have created a situation where people are barely making ends meet, and you understand now that a lot of Americans right now are 2 paychecks away from homelessness, right? Well, I say give them what they want. Give them what they want. If you want us in debt, then by God, we'll be in debt. Now what are you going to do? Now what are you going to do? This is how we do it. We go on a 60-day sabbatical. We tell the oligarchs that have captured our state for 40 years now, we tell them, we're going to take a 60-day sabbatical where we're not going to receive an income. We're going to prepare. We're going to get our green beans, get our water. We're not going to have babies. We're not going to have a medical emergency. We're just going to sit at home and talk to one another. Have a spiritual sabbatical. We're going to learn about political economy. We're going to dig in. We're going to study, and we're going to, talk to each other. For 60 days, we're going to shut this whole country down. Truck drivers, as long as you're wearing red and white on your body and put red and white on your vehicles, you drive down the road. By Labor Day 2027, the truck drivers, if they see enough of us do this, will stop their trucks, park it, and everybody's going to go on a 60-day sabbatical. Now, think about this for a minute. The reason why we cannot get over the neoliberal paradigm is partly because most of America didn't realize what has happened to us over the last 40 years, that there's been a shift in the way political economy works, right? And the result of that is people barely making ends meet. Now, if we go on a 60-day sabbatical, what does that say about the economy? How will the oligarchs deal with most everybody not able, all behind on their car payment, all behind on their housing, the mortgage, their rent, all behind on their credit cards? You see, they want us in debt. It's like that philosophy that says, you want to stop a kid from eating candy? Put candy bowls in the coffee table in the living room. Have it there all day, every day. Sure, their teeth is going to suffer for a little while, but sooner or later, they're going to look at it and say, damn, I'm sick of candy. It's there all day, you know what I mean? If the neoliberals want us in debt, then let's give them what they want. And when you do that, what does that say about the economy and capitalism? It's not that I'm not a non-capitalist, okay? FDR said, you ought to be thanking me, rich people, because I'm saving capitalism for you. Because there are people out there, they're communists, they're socialists, and they're ready to take this country over. That's not our situation today. There's not a whole bunch of socialists, socialists with the big freaking sign that says, I'm a socialist and I want to take over the government. That's not our situation. There's not a huge amount of communists and freaking online. That's not our situation. Our situation is that we have become through neoliberalism, we have become financialized. Money is making money, and they don't give a damn about making things anymore. The industrial capitalists have been set aside in Germany. This has happened in Germany. They've deindustrialized. Their whole country is collapsing. Why? Because they can't buy the cheap energy that they bought from Russia to keep that engine going. Because the neoliberals in America and Europe said, I'm not interested in that kind of capitalism. I'm interested in money making money. You understand? So what I'm saying is, if you want your country back, let's give them what they want. Give them what they want. And by doing that, they'll have no choice but to give up this neoliberal ideology and get back to decency. They'll have no choice. And the reason why they'll have no choice is because the hat will be out of the bag. The reason why we're not getting anywhere is because very, very few people understand what has happened to us. That neoliberalism has killed the working class and the American dream. But once we understand this as a nation, as a people, then we fight back. And we fight back in such a way that says, let me show you what your ideology, the fruits of your ideology is. Fight back with me. Listen, subscribe to my channel. Like and share. This is really important. I'm not, like I said before, I don't want to talk about the problems we're facing in America. What I want to talk about is a true blue, no kidding, serious solution to this problem. A way forward, a reason to hope. That's what I want to talk about. And that's what I'm promoting. And I'm hoping that you understand this. You know, go to my YouTube channel, Fight for Decency, and tell everybody, wear the red and white on your body and on the vehicle. And know that on Labor Day 2027, we as working class people are going on a 60-day sabbatical. The only way that we'll stop doing this, that we're not going to do this, we're going to avoid this, the only way to avoid this is for the oligarchs to set back aside and allow those who they, with their money, put in office to pass free and fair elections according to what Lord Lessig, with his guidance, you know, with his leadership, because he understands more than anybody what that looks like, and a mere vote for universal health care. When we have those two things, look, we go a huge step towards fixing the problems we have in America, and we regain the American dream. And then now people have hope. Now when they go to work, they say, hell yeah, you know, I'll give it all I got. I'll be proud to freaking serve coffee. You know, I'll be proud to do whatever, you know, be a welder. I'll be proud to drive a bus, because I know that the fruits of my labor are going to get me prosperity. It's going to get me a future that I'm happy about, that I'm hopeful about. Today, when you go out to work, all you're thinking is, damn, I got to find another job. The baby got sick. I got to pay that medical bill. Well, I say the hell with them. You know, fight back. Decent people fight. Ask yourself, are we a nation of decent people? Like, subscribe, and share. Have a good day, everybody. I'm going to have a good day. Today is Wednesday. I'm going to do my thing, and then I'm going to be off for a day and a half. You know? That's the life of a truck driver. I'm not complaining. You know, I'm really not. This isn't a complaint. I work hard. You know, I don't mind working. But I'm close to quitting now, you know, I'm close to retiring. And, you know, they're talking about taking away Social Security. That they say that we're going to find a more efficient way, a more efficient way to make sure that you have a safety net. Efficient. The neoliberals talk about efficiency. If that isn't an oxymoron, I don't know what is. Thanks, y'all.